So I don't know about you guys, but I've been having an absolute blast with XDefiant since it launched. It's a breath of fresh air in the FPS genre, especially with the lack of SBMM, but I won't lie, there are still plenty of things I find very annoying about the game, and to be honest, most of them are to do with the actual players themselves. So today we're going over 5 players we all hate in XDefiant. Today's video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, but we'll hear more from them later on in the video. Now, the first player I've got listed here is the bunny hopper. This has been the biggest complaint from the community so far from what I've seen. Those players who constantly bunny hop in every single gunfight. It's like they're running around on a freaking pogo stick, and they seem to be incapable of actually just running around like a normal human. All over Twitter and all over my comment section, I've seen heaps of fans of the game asking the devs to remove bunny hopping or add some sort of penalty for it, as it seems like it has completely overrun the game in the first couple of weeks. Luckily, the developers have mentioned they will be sort of nerfing this a little bit in the future. Hopefully, even by the time this video has gone live, that is actually implemented into the game. But at least for the first few weeks of launch, this has been by far the biggest issue that I've seen people talking about. Now, for me personally, it is mostly just annoying more than anything. I don't think it necessarily helps win more gunfights or anything like that, but it is just a little bit annoying for players to deal with. And even though it doesn't necessarily help the enemy get that kill, every single time you die to someone who's bunny hopping, it is very easy to just blame that on the fact that they were bunny hopping, even if, to be honest, they may have just literally outplayed you in that gunfight. The good thing about this is that those who are relying on bunny hopping, unfortunately, will be taking a big L once those nerfs actually come in place. So rest assured, if you're not a bunny hopper, that is probably going to pay off in the long term by not becoming reliant on it in the first few weeks of launch. Now, moving on, the next one on the list that we've got is actually the sniper. Now, I love sniping so much, I won't lie, it is very, very fun in this game, especially it feels very satisfying, but bloody hell is it overpowered in the first few weeks after launch. Now, just like the previous point, luckily there are changes coming, so every chance they've already nerfed it right before this video goes up, and the whole comment section will no doubt let me know if that is the case. But early on, they have definitely been way too strong. And again, this is coming from someone who absolutely loves sniping in pretty much any shooter that I've ever played. I think in a game with a slightly longer time to kill like this one-shot kills do feel pretty overpowered even to someone who enjoys sniping, and the lack of pretty much any flinch mechanics when you get shot at means that even if someone shoots you 2 to 3 times, you can still pretty much just kill them immediately if you can snap on target quick enough. Hopefully this does get nerfed soon, not to the point where they're absolutely useless, because at that point there's no point even having snipers in the game, but hopefully they can just find a nice balanced place where they can potentially still be a one-shot kill but just have a slower ADS speed, a little bit more flinch and stuff like that, because the way that they've been in the first few weeks of launch, they are definitely very, very annoying. Now, something you guys might be interested in hearing is that Raid Shadow Legends are offering some awesome rewards right now, where if you download the game via my link in the description or the QR code on screen, you'll immediately get some insane rewards like this huge starter pack that comes with an epic champion Tyrell from the High Elves faction, one of the best epics in the entire game that you can get completely free through this link. And after reaching level 25, you'll also then get another pack that includes Epic Rector Drath, one of the best support epics that you definitely need for your collection as well. They're currently also hosting an awesome event through summertavern.plarium.com, where you can actually win gaming consoles, smartphones, and up to 5k total value of Amazon gift cards as well. Now, don't forget though that the epic champions I mentioned you can unlock for free are only available after downloading with my custom link in the description or pinned comment, or with the QR code on screen. Plus, you can then use the promo code SummerTavern to get even more silver as well. Come and find me in game under the name SammyBoyYT, and feel free to join my clan as well called Sammy Squad. As you can see, I'm a fairly high level at this point. I've been playing the game on and off for years now when I can find the time, and I absolutely love it. So don't miss out on the awesome rewards they're offering by downloading the game through the QR code on your screen or the link in the description and at the pinned comments. Now, next on the list, we have the Invisible Camper. I've come across way more of these recently. It didn't really seem like this was the case in the first week or so of launch, but really the last week, it feels like I'm seeing these constantly. This is the digital ghillie suit users who are playing so campy that they literally just don't show up on your screen at all. Now, I have no issue with the ability in general. When players are moving around, you can see them enough on most maps, and so I'm completely fine with the ability overall. It's mostly just when these players are sitting in a corner and essentially being useless until you run past them. There is no chance that you're going to be able to see them, and then they just get what is the easiest kill in the history of XDefiant. Personally, I would love to see a change where they make it that you actually have to be moving in order to be invisible. So if you just stand still, you are no longer invisible, but when you move, then you will go to that sort of semi-transparent level, because obviously players who are moving, they're not completely invisible, and I think that's good how it is. It's just invisible enough that you can slip by enemies if you're being safe about it, while if you're just running head first at an enemy, the fact you've got the digital ghillie suit equipped doesn't mean you are technically fully invisible, and I think that is really balanced how it is. So hopefully they just change that to where you can't just sit still with it, because I do find that very, very frustrating when I die simply to someone who is literally invisible that I would have easily killed had I known they were there. Now, next on the list, we have got the riot shield user. This is the Phantom's riot shield, and honestly, in any shooter that I ever play, if there is ever a riot shield, I absolutely hate anyone who uses these regularly in those games. It's such a frustrating ability, whether it is in XDefiant or whether it's just a regular riot shield in games like Call of Duty, for example. Honestly, using riot shield screams, I am not good at shooters, so let me just run at you without any skill required and just beat you to death with my invincible wall. Don't get me wrong, I have seen some people using these properly where they just sort of sit on the payload and escort and stuff like that and actually play the objective with them. In those cases, it's completely fine, but it's mostly just when these players are very clearly not good at the game and they just walk you down and try and beat the shit out of you with their riot shield. It makes it very, very frustrating. Now, I have got a little secret to share with you guys though that is going to make these completely redundant. You can shoot the enemy through the little window in the top of their shield. Not only does it deal damage, but most of the time it is also headshots, and so you can actually drop these little weasels pretty damn quick, and honestly it almost makes them entirely irrelevant. So have fun with that, boys. We're going to start a revolution and get rid of all riot shield users simply by making them completely redundant by shooting them in the head straight through their riot shield. And hopefully that stops these little weasels from using them in the future. Now, lastly, we have got the spiderbot fiend. This one is so bad that they actually had to remove it from the last playtest in April, and yet here we are in the full launch with the spiderbot being seemingly unchanged, but still back in the game. I'm not gonna lie, and hopefully this isn't disrespectful to the developers who worked on it, but honestly, to me, this is one of the most poorly designed mechanics or abilities in any shooter that I've ever played. It is one of the most frustrating things I've ever come across, and it requires absolutely zero skill to actually use. These things are so hard to stop sometimes. You can melee them when they jump onto you, but they seem to be bugged to where the jump animation doesn't even happen. So I'll watch one come towards me and be prepared to melee it when it jumps, and then what do you know, I'm literally just stunned out of thin air and then simply die because the game didn't work as intended. So these things are super, super frustrating. I also think the stun lasts for way too long, and in a perfect world, I would love to see these honestly just removed from the game. Now, if they don't replace it entirely, one way they could fix it is maybe make it stun your body, not your face, so that you can still maybe aim and shoot, but you just can't move much or something like that. Maybe while you're stunned, your vision is just slightly impaired, so you can still see, but it's just like a little bit blurry or something. Because the way that it is right now, essentially, if you get stunned and there's an enemy there, you are guaranteed to die. You should at least have a, you know, snowball's chance in hell to be able to still win, because most of the time you probably will, because I'll be honest, people who use the spiderbot, most of the time anyway, have got absolutely zero skill, just like the ability does in general. So those are 5 players we all hate in XDefiant. Now, obviously, I hope it goes without saying, guys, this video is just a bit of banter. I won't lie, the first couple of these are literally taking the piss out of myself, because I bunny hop like there is no tomorrow, and I do very much enjoy sniping. So please don't take this video personally. I'm joking at myself here as well. You've got to be able to laugh at yourself, so please do not take offense if you are one of the players who is listed in the video. But with that being said, leave a comment down below whether you agree with these ones or if you've got your own players that you guys hate as well. I'm very keen to read all of your comments. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there in the arena.